Okay, so for my toning, Hannah wants more of a neutral blonde, more of kind of a beigey blonde. She doesn't want to be too icy, but she doesn't want to be too gold. So we want to live somewhere in between there. So one of my favorite things to do in toning is to take something a little bit more on the warm spectrum and something on the cool spectrum and combine them in an equal mixing ratio to just create that perfect neutral beigey blonde. So for that, I'm going to be using a 10B with a 9VN equal parts at a 1:2 ratio with Kenra 9 volume. And before I apply that to my model's hair, I'm also going to be spraying her with this Kenra porosity spray. This is really just going to help her hair absorb all of that toner so we can get the most use out of our toner. Really excited. Before we rinse, I just wanted to show you guys what we achieved. The front has lifted really, really well. We've got at least a level lift higher in the front, which is exactly what we wanted. She's definitely going to have that pop of blonde around her face, whereas the balayage has lifted to this perfect, like almost like more of a golden neutral blonde, and so she's really going to have that dimension throughout her hair. Even though we didn't add an additional color to her natural, she's still going to have two different levels of blonde, and that's exactly what we wanted to achieve. Okay, so I have all of her toner applied, and for me, when it comes to toning my blondes, once they've lifted past a super warm tone that we really want to have to neutralize, it's more so about just eyeballing it and waiting until it's ready, and so we're going to rinse now. Okay, I'm just going to complete Hannah's blow dry using my favorite Kenra Platinum Blow Dry Spray. Tell me a little bit about your hair and what is lacking in your haircut that you have right now.
Yeah, so I really like the length. I just feel like it's like really heavy because it's so thick and just like I feel like it should have some more movement.
Okay, awesome. So when I do a haircut, I always think about weight, length, and texture. So it sounds like Hannah's really loving her length. So as far as that's concerned, we're just going to kind of clean that up, make sure those ends look really healthy, and we're going to focus more on weight and texture. So I'm going to utilize slide cutting to give Hannah some movement, some layers that aren't too heavy, and I'm just going to help create a haircut that isn't going to weigh her hair down. We're going to get rid of some of that weight, give her a little bit more movement, give her some face framing layers, and just give her the perfect look and some beach waves. Okay, so I've sectioned everything in Hannah's hair from the ear forward. I've taken a standard 4 sections here, and then I have separated the nape down, and this is where I'm going to establish my length. So Hannah already has a slight V shape established in her hair, so I'm starting off just by trimming about 1/2 inch off of those ends, and now I'm going to kind of pull everything forward just a little bit. This is going to help over direct the hair so that even though I cut the same length off of everything, when I place it back where it naturally falls, it really creates that. Okay, so now that I have my length and shape established, I'm just going to go ahead and already begin with my slide cutting. I keep it pretty lightweight here on the bottom, but I just kind of cut into the interior of the hair, sliding my shears gently down the hair. This almost gives the same effect that texturizing shears would give, except it's a lot less harsh. Sometimes when I use texturizing shears too much, I can really see those lines through your hair. Okay, so I have all of my length established, I have my V shape established, and now I'm just perfecting my layers. I like to take a small section at the top, take what I want from there, and then just really make sure I've married the top to the bottom. An important thing to note is that Hannah's part is around the middle of her hair, so that's where I use as the apex of Hannah's head. So when I direct my layers up, I'm using her part one. If she had a side part, I'd be over directing it slightly that way, and vice versa on the other side. So I've taken that one clean section, and now I'm just gonna go vertically and just bring it forward and do the same. Do this all the way around the head. Okay, so I definitely have the shape where I want it. So I've taken her hair and I've split it directly down the middle on either side just to kind of go through, check my work, make sure everything's even, and then just really define those face framing layers. So I like to take a triangle section in the front here and just really do some detail work so that whenever we give Hannah those beach waves, these muddy pieces are really gonna stand out. And anytime I'm doing a cut on long hair, my goal is to keep it as effortless as possible and to not overthink it. For me, whenever you have long, thick hair, I really don't like that layer on top of layer on top of layer look. I like more of that effortless, free-flowing look. So I'm taking this hair here and twisting it. This is gonna make it so when I do cut that hair, it just falls at the perfect angle. And I just love it. I just love it so much. It's one of those things where you can have super long, gorgeous natural hair and just making a few little adjustments just take it to like the next level. We want these layers to be long enough that Hannah can still pull her hair back. We want her to still be able to do all the same styles she can, but just give her a little bit more to work with. So when she has it up, she can have little pieces hanging down. When she curls it, her curls will really stand out more. They won't just weigh her down. So I'm just kind of over directing everything to the front, and I've started using those front layers as my guide now. Yes. And for my last, just final step, I am going to go in with my texturizing shears and just kind of just a little bit more that way down. And that will be it for the cut. And when I do go in with my texturizing shears, I make sure I go in at kind of a diagonal angle just to avoid any lines. Do you see what I'm saying? How that just like, that is just like what you need.
Wow, wow, wow.
It's still super long,
It is.
but it just has like movement.
Oh my gosh. Wow, I love it.
I love it. So I'm not sure how well you can see from there, but I do want to show you guys. She just has these beautiful piecey layers. They're not too harsh, and they just really blend into the rest of her hair. She still has all her length, but she has this movement. So now we're going to create a beach wave. I'm going to be using Kenra Hot Spray beforehand. This is my favorite heat protectant, and it has a 20 hold, so it definitely gives the style a lot more longevity, which is important to me. And we're going to finish it off with a volume spray by Kenra. Okay, so we're going to do beach waves for Hannah's style today. And I'm going to be using my favorite Kenra Hot Spray. I love this because it's a heat protectant and it also has a 20 hold. So this really helps the longevity of her style. I use this on brides. I use this on anyone that really wants that style to last all day long. Okay, so I finished my curls and I'm going to go in with this Voluminous Touch Memory Spray. This has a 12 hold, so it's going to give her that volume but I'm still gonna be able to run my fingers through her hair. I'm also gonna use some of the dry conditioning oil. I just love the way this makes the hair look so soft and so healthy. And last but not least, my absolute favorite, the Kenra Volume Super Hold Spray in 25. Now I'm running my fingers through these curls to really loosen them up and turn them into beach waves. Tell looking at it where we did the foils because it's the most blonde and it really pops. And then throughout the bottom, she still has so much dimension and so much depth. This is definitely not a flat color. And I feel like the toner that we chose is perfect because her blonde is not too gold, not too icy. It's that perfect beachy blonde right there at a neutral level. I love it. What do you think, Hannah?
I love it.